Good morning, students. Good morning.
Good
Please
morning,
switch
ma'am.
on your videos. How was your test? The last class test? Is it tough or too easy? Some of them are not attended the test, and some of them are attended, but after 8 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock and all. Okay. So I am not checked the papers of those students who are not write the exam under my invigilation. Okay. So today I'm going to discuss the answers of the last test. Is there any doubt regarding with the question paper? Is it clear now? Okay. So we can make a quick revision of this question paper. After that, we can move with the next questions. Nature of the image formed by a convex mirror is real inverted diminished, virtual erect diminished, real inverted enlarged, virtual erect enlarged. Which is the right answer?
Erect diminished.
Virtual erect diminished. Option B is right. We know that in the case of a convex mirror, we have only two possible cases. Object is at infinity and object is between infinity and that of the pole. In the two cases, the nature and size of the image will be the same. It is virtual, erect and diminished. Now the second question. What is the size of the image formed by a convex mirror when the object is placed at infinity and the image is formed at the focus behind the mirror? Is it is enlarged, highly diminished, diminished, equal to the size of the object?
Highly diminished.
Highly diminished. What about the answers of others? Vishnupriya? It is highly diminished. In the case of convex mirror, as we told earlier, we have only two cases. The first one is object is at infinity. Second case, what is the second case? Object between anywhere between pole and infinity. In the first case, in the two cases, infinity and that of the pole and infinity, in both cases, we know that the image is formed behind the mirror, but the nature and size, the nature will be the same, virtual and erect, and in both cases, it is diminished in nature, but if the object is at infinity, it is highly diminished. Okay, so you may be confused between the two answers. Is it is highly diminished or diminished? The correct option is option B, highly diminished. Okay, now we can move to the third question. Third one. Which of the following laws states that incident ray, normal and the reflected ray all are lies in the same plane?
First law.
First law.
It is the first law of reflection. Some of them are make mistake. They are like first law of refraction. Here it is a law that is accompanying with that of the reflection of light phenomenon. Okay, we have two laws are there. First law states that incident ray, reflected ray and a normal all lies in the same plane. This is what is known as the first law of reflection. Then students, can you guess or can you recall what about our second law of reflection? Second law.
Angle of incidence. Angle of reflection.
Angle of incidence, angle of reflection. That is the second law.
Angle of
Angle of
incidence and
incidence
angle of reflection.
Yes, very good. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle R. This is the most simple law when we are comparing these two laws, but it is the second law of reflection. The first law of reflection is something that is defined incident ray, reflected ray, and normal. So first law of reflection states that the reflected ray, incident ray, reflected ray, and normal all lies in the same plane. Okay. Now the next question. So the correct option is option C, first law of reflection. Calculate the position of image formed if a concave mirror produces a real image which is 3 times magnified of the object placed 20 centimeter in front of it. Which is the correct answer? Calculate the position of image? S.
Minus 60.
Minus 60. What about others? Is there any other possible answers? Minus 60 centimeter. Is there any other answers? All of them are at minus 60. Any other answers from you guys?
60.
Okay. From Ashik, it is 60 centimeter. Is there any other answers? No. I think most of them are confused with the option A and S.
Ma'am, because it is concave, it will be negative.
Very good, dear. So from the answer itself, you can say it is negative 60 because the image given is concave mirror. Even though we can do the calculation, then also we get the same value. So how we can find out the position of image from this value, from this question? Here only they are provided the object distance. What is the object distance? U.
Minus 20.
Very good. U is equal to minus 20. Whether it is a concave or convex, the object distance should be negative. And what about the other clue they are provided in this question? The image produced is 3 times magnified. That is magnification. Magnification M is equal to 3 times. But is it true? Is it only positive 3? Is it positive 3? It is negative 3. Why we are taking it as a negative 3?
Real image.
Yes, very good. Because here calculate the position of the image produced by a concave mirror produces a real image. Okay, so depending upon the nature of the image, we can put the sign for magnification. If it is a real image, magnification M is always negative. Okay, then what is the condition for M is positive? Then the M becomes positive. M is positive for virtual images. M is positive only for virtual images. So for the given case, you must put a negative sign. Then what is the relation between magnification, object distance and image distance? Relation or equation between, relation means equation between magnification, object distance and image distance.
Minus V by U.
Yes, M is equal to minus V by U. So we can substitute all values here. Here M is negative 3. This negative is as a result of here the condition is provided. It is a real image. That is why we put a negative sign here. So negative 3 is equal to negative E divided by minus U. That is minus 20. So minus V divided by minus 20. So here this negative and this negative cancel. So we get V is equal to minus 3 into 20. That is equal to negative 60 centimeter. So the position of the image will be at negative 60 centimeter. So option C is right. Now the fifth question. Most of them are made mistake in this fifth question. The focal length of a concave mirror is 10 centimeter. The position of the object that is useful for getting an enlarged image which can be caught on a screen is placed at a distance of 5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, placed at a distance of 35 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, placed at a distance of 15 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, placed at a distance of 4.5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror. What is the right answer?
Option 4.
Okay,
I'm 4.5 on the right.
it is 4.5. Is there any other options? Some of them are, most of them are right. It is, some of them are right. Go with the option 3. Some of them are go with the option 1. But here the right answer is placed at a distance of 4.5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror. But why? I need the reason. I need the explanation. Why it is the answer?
And it is between pole and focus.
Yes, they are providing the condition that the focal length of a concave mirror is 10 centimeter. The position of the object that is useful for getting an enlarged image, we must point out on this point. It is a concave mirror and we need to get an image which is enlarged in size, which can be caught on a screen. So where should be placed this object? That is what is our question. Okay. So it's a concave mirror. We must get an object which is enlarged in nature. And we know that for a concave mirror, we have 6 different cases are there. What is the first case of a concave mirror?
Between infinity and
Very good. Between infinity and anything? Here we have pole, here we have focus, here we have center of curvature. What is the first case of a concave mirror? At infinity. At infinity. So if you are placed the object at infinity, where do you get the image?
at the focus.
Very good. At the focus. What about the second case? Now the object is here.
Beyond C.
Beyond C. If you are placed the object beyond C, where do you get the image?
Between F and C.
Between F and C. And what about the size of the image?
Diminished.
Diminished. Now we are placed the object and we place the object here. Replace and place it at C. What about the, yes, it is obtained at C itself. What about its size?
Same size.
Same size. Now I replace the object from C and I place here. That is between C and F. Where do we get the image?
Between beyond after C.
Yes, it is beyond C. Beyond C. Okay. But here we want to obtain the image which can be caught on a screen. Not here on the same side. We want to caught on the image on the screen. Screen is placed here. Okay. Now I am going to replace the object and place it to focus. At focus, where did I get the image?
Infinity.
At infinity. What about the size?
Diminished.
Diminished. And we get the image at infinity, not on the screen. We get the image at infinity. Now I am going to replace the object from focus and I am going to place the object here. What about the position now? It is between pole and focus. It is between pole and focus. Where do we get the image?
Behind the mirror.
Behind the mirror. We get the image here. Behind the mirror, we kept a screen. So we get the image behind the mirror. What about the size of the image?
Highly.
It is enlarged. Enlarged. So this is the last case. We get an enlarged image and we get an image on a screen. If we place the screen behind the mirror. So here we have some measurements are given. If we place at a distance of 5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, 35 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, 15 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, and 4.5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror. So we may be confused with the answers option 1 and option 4. If you are consider 35 and 15, we can say that the object is somehow, it is at a large distance or far away from that of the pole. Okay, if it is a 35 or 15, it is somehow far away from that of the pole. So by comparing the value 5 and 4.5, we can say that 4.5 is a value that is much closer to that of the pole of the mirror. It is much closer. So that's why we can say option 4 is the right answer. Object should be placed at a distance of 4.5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror. So option 4 is right. Now the next question. Question number
Ma'am.
6 is
Third question is A only, right? Second law of reflection.
no. Third question,
I mean, the
first
text
law.
it is second law.
In the textbook, is it second law?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No. Read the first law of reflection. Check the page number. I think it is
Ma'am,
161. right?
angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Second law, it is incident ray, normal ray to the mirror at the point of incidence
Okay.
and reflected ray.
1 minute, let me check and answer. Okay, then let me check. I think in some textbook, when I am referring to other textbook, it will be given the first law, because first law of reflection is define the incident ray, reflected ray, and normal ray. After that, in the second law, they give the relation between the angle of incident and that of the angle of reflection. Okay, anyway, let me check and say. Okay, well, we can compare with that of the other reference textbook will be there, not on the NCERT textbook.
First,
So, yes,
the reflected ray and normal at the point of incident.
what is the first law?
The incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal ray at the point of incident all lie in the same plane.
From where you are read that law, Ashik?
From Oswald guide.
It is from Oswald guide. Okay. All right, students, I will check. Let me check and inform this. Okay, in the next class. Not only from the Oswald guide, we can check with that of the other reference book in physics. Okay. Okay, students. So here we are confused with the options. Actually, which are the options are given? First law or the second law? So actually, in real case, the first law of reflection is define what you mean by reflected ray, incident ray, and normal. Then only in the second law of reflection, they give the relation between angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Anyway, let me check and inform in the next class. Sure. Okay, so I think I need to recheck your papers. Now, the sixth question. A full-length image of a distant tall building can definitely be seen by using concave mirror, convex mirror, plane mirror, both concave as well as plane mirror.
Convex mirror.
Convex mirror. Why?
Because it shows a smaller and wider view.
Yes, actually the correct answer is it provides a wider field of view. Image formed by the convex mirror is in a diminished in nature and it provides a wider field of view. Most of the students are confused with the plane mirror. Why? We can use the plane mirror also in the case of as well as in the case of convex mirror. The plane mirror is also produce a virtual and direct image, but we cannot use a plane mirror in order to see a full-length image of a distant tall building, because plane mirror does not produces a wider field of view. It produces an image that is exactly equal in size that of the object. Here the object size and the image size will be the same. That is why we cannot use a plane mirror. Here we can only use a convex mirror. It produces a virtual and direct image, but it may be diminished in nature, but it produces a full-length image of the distant tall building. So the correct option is convex mirror. Now the next section is assertion and reasoning. Assertion and reasoning. But I think most of them are make it as a correct one, correct assertion and correct reasons. Here in 10A section, all of them are attended it well compared to that of other classes. Okay. Anyway, we can just answer it. So here you just read the given directions carefully. What about the assertion and reason? What about the each options are indicates? Okay. If assertion is correct, so you can mark in column 1 or in option 1. If assertion is correct, reason is correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion, then only you can mark on the first column. And or you can mark in the second row or the second option. If assertion is correct, reason is correct, but reason is not the correct explanation for the assertion. Now the third case, assertion is correct, but reason is incorrect. In the fourth case, assertion is incorrect, but reason is correct. So these are the 4 options. Then you read the assertion and reason. So while you are solving this assertion and reason type question, first you check whether the given assertion is correct or incorrect. Then proceed with the reason. And if the reason is also correct, then the next step, check whether this reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. Then go with the options. Okay, so let us start. Question number 7. The given assertion is this: a ray passing through the center of curvature of a concave mirror after the reflection is reflected back along the same path. Is it is correct or incorrect? True or false?
Correct.
It is correct. We know that according to the rule of ray diagram, if a ray of light is entering through center of curvature, after the reflection, what happens to that ray of light? After the reflection, what happens to this ray of light that is passing through center of curvature?
Passes through that.
Yes, it is passing through the same path itself. This is our third rule for drawing the ray diagrams. So if a ray of light that is coming or passing through center of curvature of a concave mirror, after the reflection, it is reflected through the same path. So this assertion is correct. Now, what about the reason? The incident rays fall on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. Is it is true or false, or correct or incorrect? The incident rays fall on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. How the incident rays are falls on the reflecting surface?
Parallel.
Is it is parallel. So here also, or it is along the normal. Sometimes some ray of light is incident on the reflecting surface along the normal. Okay. So the incident rays fall on the mirror along the normal. It is along with the normal. The incident rays are falls onto the reflecting surface. So here the reason is also correct. And this is the reason why the ray of light that is passing through the center of curvature, after the reflection, it is reflected through the same path. So here we can say reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. So here assertion is correct, reason is correct, and the reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. So which is the correct option? Option 1. Yes.
And how that is the correct explanation?
Incident rays falls on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. Actually, where this center of curvature is lies, it is along the normal. If you are consider the principal axis as a normal. Okay. So here we can say that if the ray of light is entering through this, it is reflecting through the same path. Or in the case of incident rays that is coming parallel, or it is falls along with that of the normal after the reflection. In the case of center of curvature, it is if it is incident through center of curvature, it is reflecting through the same path. It is reflecting through the same path along the normal itself. So we can say that incident rays falls on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. And here this reason is the correct explanation for that of the assertion. So when a ray of light is entering through center of curvature of a concave mirror, after the reflection, it is returning through the same path. The reason is incident rays falls on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. It is a correct statement. Okay, in the case of mirror, the incident rays are falls parallel, or it is along. It is falls along with that of the normal to a reflecting surface. This is the reason for the entire reflection pattern of the spherical mirrors. Now the next question, assertion. Virtual images are always erect. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
It is correct. Because the only possible combination along with that of the virtual is erect. Virtual and erect. And we know that. What about the combination between real and inverted? Real images are inverted. Virtual images are always erect. It is correct. And the reason, virtual images are formed by diverging lenses only. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Virtual images are formed by diverging lenses. Diverging lenses means concave lenses only. Is it correct?
No, ma'am.
Now think about convex lens. In the case of convex lens, how many cases are there? Convex lens, not mirror, lens. How many cases are there?
6.
6. And in the last case, what about the nature of the image formed by convex lens?
Virtual and direct.
It is virtual and direct. So does the reason is correct here? The virtual images are formed by only the diverging lenses. Is it correct? No. Both the convex and concave lens is able to produce the virtual images. In the case of concave lens, both the cases we get a virtual images. The image formed will be virtual erect and diminished in nature. But in the case of convex lens, we have 6 different cases are there. But in the last case, except the 5 cases, in the last case, we get an image which is virtual in nature. Okay, so this is an incorrect statement. Reason is incorrect. So which is the correct option? Option 3. Assertion is correct. Virtual images are always erect. Assertion is correct, but reason is incorrect. Now we have question number 9. Assertion is this: the mirror used in searchlight are concave spherical. The mirror used in searchlights are concave spherical. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Searchlight. This is the best clue whether it is a concave or convex in nature. Yes, the mirrors used in every type of light. If it is a searchlight, torchlight, headlight, or solar furnaces, anything like that, the mirror should be used is concave. So it is correct. What about the reason? Now we are going with the reason. In concave spherical mirrors, the image formed is always virtual. In a concave, it is incorrect. We know that in the case of concave mirror, we have 6 different cases are there. Except the last case, in all the other cases, image formed will be real and inverted. So it is an incorrect statement. In concave spherical mirror, the image formed is always real in nature. Real. Now the 10th one. Assertion is this: for observing traffic at back, the driver mirror is convex mirror. Driver mirror means the rear view mirrors of the vehicle should be convex in nature. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Correct.
It is correct. Then the reason: a convex mirror has much larger field of view than that of a plane mirror.
Correct.
It is also correct. And now you can go with the next procedure. Check whether this reason is correct explanation for the assertion.
Correct explanation.
It is the correct explanation because it is because of this convex mirror is provides a wider field of view. We use this convex mirror as a rear view mirrors in vehicle. So here the option 1 is right. Okay. Observing the traffic at back, driver using convex mirrors as rear view mirrors because the convex mirror has a large field of view or a wider field of view as compared to that of the plane mirror. Okay, so option 1 is right. Now the last pattern, case study based questions. Actually, what is the problem regarding with that of the case study question? Most of them are pink, the answers are provided along with that of the paragraph. But it is actually a misconception. They just give a paragraph. Sometimes any one answer will be there. You get obtained from that passage. But all the other questions are asking from externally. Okay. Now we can read the question and find the answers. 11th question. When a concave mirror is held towards the sun and its sharp image is formed on a piece of carbon paper for some time, a hole is burned in the carbon paper. What is the name given to the distance between mirror and carbon paper?
Focal length,
It is focal length. Why? What is the reason?
because the distance between the pole and the
Very good. Where this carbon paper is burned, It is burns at the exact focus of the carbon paper. Okay. And the distance between the mirror and that of this focus point is known as focal length. So correct option is focal length. Now the second question, 12th question. The distance between pole and focal point of spherical mirror is equal to the distance between pole and center of curvature, focus point and center of curvature, pole and object, object and image.
Pole and object.
B.
Some of them are going with the C, some of them are going with the B. Any other option? No. Actually, the correct option is option B. The distance between pole and a focal point of a spherical mirror is equal to the distance between focus point and the center of curvature. Twice the focal length. We are considered as a twice the focal length. So, if you are consider a mirror like this, here we have the pole, here focus, here center of curvature. This distance is equal to this distance, focus and center of curvature, focus point and center of curvature. Okay, so the correct option is option B, focus point S. S.
When we are that lightening that carbon paper the same length of me.
When we are
Lightening that carbon paper, then it is like same as pole and object also.
it is not between pole and object. It is because here where this carbon paper is produces this or catches this fire, it is at the exact focus. It is an activity regarding with that of the focus of a mirror. Okay. So here the distance between pole of the mirror and that of the focus of the mirror is nothing. It is focal point. Here they are asking about the distance. What is the distance between? What is the name given to the distance between mirror and a carbon paper? That is the distance between the pole of the mirror and that of the exact focus of that mirror, carbon paper. That is focal point, focal length, not focal point, focal length. Now the 13th question. The focal length of a mirror is 15 centimeter, small f. Small f is equal to 15 centimeter. Then what is the radius of curvature of the mirror? What is the relation between radius of curvature and that of the focal length?
30.
Yes, r is equal to 2f. That is 2 into 15. That is equal to 30 centimeter. So option B is right. Now the next question. 14th one. Okay. Read the 14th question. The normal at any point on the mirror passes through. You can correlate this question with that something that we are discussed in the assertion and reasoning type question. The normal at any point on the mirror passes through focus, pole, center of curvature, any point. The normal at any point on the mirror passes through.
Center of curvature.
Yes, it is the center of curvature. Center of curvature. We know that if you are consider a mirror, all the light rays are passing parallel to that of the principal axis. Sometimes it may be passing through that of the center of curvature. Okay. So the normal at any point on the mirror passes through center of curvature. Center of curvature. Now the last question. In a convex spherical mirror, reflection of light takes place at a flat surface, a bent surface, a bulging out surface, an uneven surface.
Bulging out surface.
It is a bulging out surface. If it is a flat surface, the answer is right. Where do you find the flat surface?
Plane mirror. Plane mirror.
Yes, very good. In the case of a plane mirror. But here we have convex spherical mirror. It is a spherical mirror. And what about bending surface? Bending surface is present in which type of mirror?
Convex.
It is in concave mirror. Concave, bend in. Concave, cave-like structure. It is bend in. It is in concave mirror. It is in plane mirror. Now question number, option D. It is an uneven surface. Does the reflection takes place from an uneven surface? No. So no reflection takes place from an uneven surface. So we can say the correct option is a bulging out surface. A bulging out surface. Okay. So here we have some more assertion type questions. We can answer it. Assertion and reasoning type question is a pattern of question. You may have a chance to make mistake. So try to practice such type of questions more. Okay. Read the directions carefully. Here the options are, if both the assertion and reason are true, assertion is the correct explanation for the assertion. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation for the assertion. Third option, assertion is true, but reason is false. Fourth option, assertion is false, but reason is true. Now read the assertion and reason.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, if both the statements are wrong, what option will we put? If assertion and reason is incorrect.
Yes. In some questions are like this. Then they will provide another option. Both assertion is wrong. That is, A is incorrect. And R is also incorrect. Or A is false, R is false. They may be provided an option like that. Some cases will be there. Sometimes an assertion and both reason, both are wrong. Some cases also will be there like that. Now, what about this question? Assertion is this: focal length of convex mirror is positive. Is it is correct? First, you read the assertion carefully and decide whether the given assertion is true or false. Then go with the reason. Focal length of a convex mirror is positive. John, is it true?
Yes, ma'am.
Focal length of a convex mirror is positive. Is it is correct or incorrect?
Correct.
It is correct statement. So here we can say the assertion is correct. Focal length of a convex mirror is always positive. Now we can go with the reason. Focal length of concave mirror is negative. Focal length of a concave mirror is negative. Is it true or false?
Correct.
Correct.
It is also correct. Then we check whether the given reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. It is the correct explanation for assertion?
No.
No. Both are two different statements. That is, assertion is true, reason is true, but
Wrong.
reason is also true, but reason is the not correct explanation for the assertion. So option B is right. Okay. I think now it is almost 10:09. I will send this question to your group. Try to practice by yourself and find the answers. Okay. Now let me take